Bob Reese, the head coach of the Valley Huskers, joining me now on playoff week. And Bob, before we look ahead, let's look back. Week 10 in Nanaimo, I thought it was a pretty good football game from a fan perspective. It was entertaining. What did you see from the sidelines and when you broke down the film of the game against the Raiders?
Certainly it was a tight game, back and forth. It was basically a one-score game for the most part. For the entire game, and I think there's a lot of opportunities for both teams to really take that game, and nobody really did. It kind of went back and forth. I think we left a lot of things on the field offensively, and credit to them for making big plays defensively and stopping what we were trying to do. But at the end of the day, we look back on film and think there's a lot of opportunities we left behind out there for sure.
You finished the game without your two top receivers, and Anthony Dick and Brandon Poulan. What can you tell me about their status right now?
Both are kind of been limited in practice, but we expect them to be fully ready to go on Sunday there. So, we've been taking it easy. Today should be full go for both of them, and we'll test to see where they're at.
When I look at the matchup with the Okanagan Sun in the two regular season games, do you think that there's much that you can draw from the early season meeting, or is it more looking at the later season meeting, or do you take it as a two-game package when you try and break down the head-to-head?
Certainly there's things from our first meeting with those guys that we should be taking away. I thought we executed at a far higher rate in that game than we did in the second matchup, especially defensively. I think we made a lot of mistakes defensively, in our trip to Kelowna, and we paid the price for it. So I think we're a lot more focused in on our assignment and a lot more assignment sound the first time we played these guys. And, we have to look back to how we approached that week. And certainly our approach that week was more dialed in. But obviously we need to respect the fact of the team that we played later on in the season and the team that continues to get better. The Okanagan Sun is obviously a very good football team, and we need to prepare for the things that hurt us in the later half of the season.
I think it's pretty clear that your offense is pass heavy, and why wouldn't it be with the three tools that you have to work with there? But in the two meetings against the Sun, I think you averaged almost 50 passes per game. Do you think that puts you in a good scenario on Sunday to win if that's happening again where you're throwing the ball 40-plus times?
Well, depending on how you look at it, certainly in the second matchup, a lot of those pass attempts were out of necessity. We were down, at times pretty significantly. So clearly we had to throw the ball a lot more. But yeah, no doubt about it. Passing is the strength of our offense, and with the weapons we have, it should be. But yeah, we need to continue to build and find ourselves a ground game. Playoff football, you got to be able to run the rock, and certainly I think Vaughn's been doing a very good job for us there as of late. So we're going to lean on him to get some yards across the ground and open things up in the air for us.
How do you guys go about being better against the run? The Sun put up big rushing yards. The Raiders did too. Is it a schematic thing? Is it a personnel thing? What do you see with your run defense that needs to be a little bit better, especially coming into this weekend?
Be assignment sound. Do your job. Obviously we've got gashed the last couple of weeks on the ground. And I think some of that is certainly blown assignments, and we put a lot of, emphasis on our guys and put a lot of, I want to say, pressure on our guys to perform this week and to answer the bell and to just worry about their assignment. I think sometimes guys are trying to go above and beyond, and it's not that complex. Do your job, do your assignment, and trust that the guy next to you is doing his. So we've certainly emphasized that this week, and we expect a better performance from our D-line.
Coach, I have to say, I've seen this Huskers team, a lot of different versions of it over a lot of years. Just the atmosphere, the attitude, the way you guys warmed up, the way you prepared, the way the whole team looked and felt was like nothing I've ever seen from a Huskers organization standpoint. There's a real sort of special buzz and hype about this group that you guys have there, isn't there?
Hey, listen, we're certainly proud of who we are as an organization. And I think that goes back to our approach and to how our approach has been, all along is to be professional in the way you handle yourself to prepare like you're a champion, whether it was last year at 0 and 10 and the guys learning the lessons the hard way there, but or it's this year finishing the regular season at 6 and 4. I think we strive to prepare to be the best, and then where we are in that, still remains to be seen. But, certainly we prepare that way and then treat ourselves that way. And, and I think that carries off into how we approach things.
I had a chance to chat really briefly before the game with Brandon Poulin, and he's a special kid. I think he's a different kind of kid too. He's a lot of energy in that little package he's got there. Just talk about what he's done for your team, for your organization, and what it's like to coach a kid like that.
Brandon is certainly a special kid. He's got a lot of energy, and when that energy is focused, man, he's an amazing kid. But certainly he's done so many good things for our program. He's led the league in receptions. He leads the league in yards, I believe, and special teams. He's all over the place. The kid's come out here and done what he, set out to do this year, is to be an outstanding football player. And certainly he's been a big addition to our program. And, hey, listen, I love the kid, and I can't say enough things about him, man. He's done an outstanding job as a football player for us. And, we look forward to seeing what he can do in the playoffs.
So I asked all the head coaches this, and you're the last guy I've spoken to this week. I'm going to ask you too. Who's the favorite right now to win the Cullen Cup?
I don't know, Dom. You tell me, man. I just prepare for football games. I don't know. I'm sure it's certainly not us, and if it is, I'd be surprised. We haven't been the favorites, for forever, maybe. I'm not sure. So, I'll leave that up to you guys and, the professionals at predicting these sort of things. And I'm sure everybody else probably gave you the similar answer. But, we're here to take care of what we can take care of, and, that's to prepare for the Okanagan Sun and a good football game on Sunday.
Bob, I appreciate your time as always, my friend. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Take care.